Hey everyone, Miss Dempsey here, and oh my goodness. So, this race, the FIA Manufacturer Exhibition Series on Brands Hatch Indy Circuit with Group 4 cars, and we have a pretty stacked race up ahead right here. I know this is going to be a very hard race for me. My car is at a disadvantage. I didn't warm up because I just got home right before the race started, and well, let's see where we end up. Yeah, 16th place. It's going to be a very hard race for me, but let's see how this goes. But as we start, I just want to give a huge shout out to J Dr. Rick, as they suggested a two-step strategy using Racing Soft only, and I went ahead and tried it out in this race, and you'll see why I'm giving him a shout out. So as we start the race, luckily we got the very end of the turn, so I can just floor it through here. And yeah, it's just going to be a very hard race because this car doesn't really like to rotate around the turns, especially through this turn right here. And we're setting up two goals here. The first goal is to not die in this race, and the second goal is to see if we can go for a top 10 finish. As we go through the second turn, we're right behind 15th place, and I accelerate just a little bit too early. Car ends up wobbling a bit on me, and honestly it kind of scared me because I thought I was going to end up in last place on the first lap, but luckily we didn't, so we're just going to keep on going. And with this strategy, since I'm pitting a bit more frequently, I can push the car a lot more, get a better pace, and see if we can get a lot more overtakes throughout the race. But we'll see what happens once again as we enter the second lap. It's a very long race. We got 28 laps, so let's go ahead and see what happens. There's a group of 4 cars just up ahead, and we're going to see if they can battle it out so they can slow down so we can attempt an overtake as they start to bump into each other, and they almost take each other out, and they slow down just enough to where Straight Race and I are now hanging out right behind them. One of them actually broke free, and we have a yellow flag as someone ended up going off track, so we're already up 1 position. And we're going to really try to pressure the heck out of Dibbler in Straight Race and see as they end up bumping into each other, and McCrow just ends up sneaking in through the inside and gets really bunched up, and I almost got taken out by Cookie Bear as he ends up surprising me by trying to go on the inside. I did not expect him to come in. Honestly scared the heck out of me as someone also goes off track. Judica over here, this mad lad, he ends up sneaking on through, so now we're going to try and see if we can battle it out with him and try to retake 15th place. Hi Judica, how you doing today? But anyways, as we follow him along, we're just trying to make sure that we don't make any significant errors. As long as we don't do that, as long as we maintain a decent pace, then we should be able to catch up to the front of the pack over here. And we're kind of losing it a little bit, but I'm not too concerned. This is just the very start of the race. A lot of things can happen, so yeah, I'm just trying to maintain a steady pace. I'm just trying to kind of just do my own thing, and that's the nice thing about these longer races. It's just that you really can do your own thing. There's a lot more strategies that are opening up. So for example, you can do one stop on softs, or medium and soft, or soft. I mean, it's up to you, right? I mean, if you find out about it and you feel comfortable doing it, then well, I mean, what's stopping you? Go for it. Well, I mean, there's a tire requirement, but as someone ends up spinning out, now we're up to 15th place. Now we're talking about the race and not some silly tire selection, and we're kind of just getting closer to Judica, our friend over here. We're trying to retake the position that he took from us, or me, and already these first 4 laps have already been really exciting, really hectic, to be honest, but I think that's just what makes it a lot more fun, a lot more exciting. And we're still pretty close to 12th place, so we're going to see if we can try to catch up to them as Straight Race and Judica end up battling it out. So I'm going to see if I can try to sneak in through here. Judica ends up passing through. I'm going to see if I can try to sneak in, but Straight Race ends up blocking it, so I'm just going to go ahead and just hang out right behind him. And we end up getting a yellow flag, so someone luckily went off track or spun out. So we're just going to follow Straight Race over here, try and see what happened. And yep, someone definitely did go off track, so now we're up to 14th place. and we're going to see if we can try to pressure Straight Race to force a mistake on him. And it's going to be pretty hard as he's doing pretty good at defending his position. Same with Judica, so we're going to have a difficult time. But still, we have a lot of laps to cover. Anything can happen. We can successfully do it, successfully pressure them into a mistake or not. Or I could end up going into the pit stop without really getting a position change. And just again, we're just following them. Nothing really going on as I'm a little far from Straight Race to really do anything. And just take a look up ahead at Judica and McCrow as they start to battle it out. So things are getting heated up. They're going to be slowing down a little bit more, so we're going to catch up to them just a bit. And as McCrow over here, he just ends up going wide, and I'm just going to push the car to its max, try to see if we can pass him, and job well done. We end up getting the pass, and now it's time to defend the position, try to make sure that he doesn't sneak up on me like how he did last time. And yep, definitely we are able to secure 13th place. But the question is, how long can we secure it before he attempts another attack on us? Or if I attack 12th place and successfully pass, as he ends up braking just a little bit too late, goes wide, and I'm going to go ahead and sneak on in through the inside, give him just enough space so I don't end up taking him out by accident. And I'm just trying to defend the heck out of 12th place. I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can get a really nice inside line. And not really, but he's still hanging out right behind us. And we're going to see if we could try to break away from him and get a little bit closer to our friend Mr. Judica over here. And the other thing is that we have one more lap to try to push the car as much as we can before we pit in for a new set of racing soft tires. And once again, that's the nice thing about doing this kind of pit strategy, is that I can push the car a lot more, not worry too much about the tire wear, because I'll be getting a new set of fresh racing tires before you even know it. And as we go through this turn one last time before we pit in, just try to be really careful. And I don't know why I'm taking a look at the field mapping, as we don't have to worry about it for this race. And just again, just try to get a nice clean line. I'm not worrying too much about Straight Race, I mean, especially because I'll be pitting in soon. So he's going to pass me at some point, but I know I will pass him once or eventually after I get out of the pit stop. And unfortunately, we're not able to get too close to Mr. Judica over here, as this is the lap where I'll be pitting in. So I'm going to go ahead and pull on over to the right and enjoy myself getting a new fresh set of racing soft tires. Now, believe it or not, I have the fastest pit crew in the world, as we are already out of the pit stop before I even know it, but yet somehow we end up in 18th place. So now it's time to pressure Mr. Huey over here. We're going to see if we can try to sneak around him, as his tires seem to be a little worn, and it's going to be a little hard as he's defending the heck out of this position over here. So I mean it's not too much to worry about because my tires aren't wearing too much in a way, but at the same time I'm going a little bit slower since I'm hanging out right behind this individual here, as he ends up going a little bit wide. So I'm just going to go ahead and sneak on through. Thank you very much. And some people are starting to pit. Mr. Straight Race ends up pitting, and someone else ended up pitting, so we're able to bring ourselves back into 14th place. Job well done. Someone's already leaving the pit stop, but we're able to pass him without any worry, and there was a yellow flag for some reason. And we will go ahead and just speed on through these laps, as some people end up going into the pit stop. So now we're up into 12th place, and we're going to go ahead and follow this individual here, Mr. Car M. Raced with him a couple times before, as the DNA people end up going into the pit stop. So now we're up into 10th, trying to see if we can try to sneak on through before they exit. And yep, we are able to successfully pass them before they exit the pit stop. So now we are in the top 10. So now the question is, how long can we maintain this, as 9th and 8th place end up battling it out. And it seems like the GTR went a little wide, and kind of makes me think if they are having troubles with their tires. So we're going to go ahead and try to push the car a little bit more. We have the tire life, we have the tire grip, so we can definitely get this car pushed as much as we can, as we're now right behind him. He definitely has worn tires, so we're just going to go ahead and bring on over to the outside as he ends up going into the pit stop. So the push wasn't too necessary, but still we brought ourselves a little bit closer. So now we have the Audi TT Cup just ahead of us, and it's going to be a little hard to catch up to him as he has the pace when it comes to straight line speed, but when it comes to the turns, that's where I have a little bit of an advantage as we are now hanging out a little bit closer behind him. We're going to see if we could try to pass him before I end up going to the pit stop, as he ends up defending that position really well, but unfortunately it looks like we will not be able to get a pass on him before I enter the pit stop. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I just really wanted to get into 7th place before I enter the pit stop, but oh well. Doesn't always happen, but let's go ahead and get ourselves a new fresh set of racing soft tires once again, because the top left tire is already showing signs of wear, and we're back out. Now unfortunately, my pit crew, they decide not to function like aliens and decide to function more like human beings, so their pit stop was, well, it was a lot slower. So we're down to 16th place. I am still not concerned just because their tire wear, so 15th, 14th, and 13th place, their tires could be much worse than mine, as 14th place ends up sliding it and saves it. Well done on him for saving it and keeping his position, which is even more impressive. But still, we're here to take all their positions. I want to bring myself back into 13th place for the time being, as seems like one of them, yep, definitely the Aston Martin over there, pulls into the pit stop, and I get a better exit from our friend over here, Mr. Cookie Burp. How you doing today? And we're going to go ahead and bring ourselves in, and we get a nice pass as Cookie Burp right behind us ends up sliding a little bit, and looks like he was able to save the position, and he's battling out with Car M, as you briefly saw right there. But we're not going to pay attention to them. I mean, I'm sorry, Cookie Bear, but this is my video. We're going to go ahead and focus on the GTR over here. Our friend over here, we've battled out with him a couple of times, and let's see if we can try to overtake him once again. And it's going to be a little difficult, as this person could be defending the heck out of the positions just like they are right now. But if we end up getting a better exit right here and get a good slingshot out of this, we could potentially get an awesome overtake. So let's go ahead and see what happens over here. We're getting a little bit closer, but unfortunately we're still a little too far. That's no big deal. Let me go ahead and try to bring myself a little bit closer, and we're kind of just putting it into the inside, but still nothing really going on. I'm just trying to get closer to him before I can initiate an attack, and I'm hoping I can get myself perfectly positioned by the final turn. That way I can pass him as we pass the start finish line. So let's go ahead and see what happens over here. This is where I start to get really aggressive, break a little bit later, and now I'm right behind him again. This is definitely it. I have to go for the attack, and we're going to see what happens. Try to get some of that good old slipstream benefits, and this is it. We have to go for the attack. We're going to pull on over to the inside, and we successfully do it. He knew that we're going to attack, so he ends up letting us through. So well done on him. So we didn't end up killing each other, as I ended up going a little bit wide over here because I got a little too excited from that overtake. And this is where it's going to get especially hard, as we are now starting to get short on time. We have less than 6 laps to go, and we have to definitely try to see if we can catch up to the group of cars that is a little bit away from us. And what I am hoping is that these group of cars up ahead start to really battle it out, so they can slow down a little bit more, which will give me enough time to catch up to them and hopefully get an overtake done. And luckily they are battling it out, and it's our friends Mr. Spec Miata, Hako, and Judica that are battling it out. So we're going to see if we can try to catch up a little bit, because I want to join that party. It looks really awesome. That, and I really want 8th place, as they are really battling it out, Mr. Judica and Hako, and we are definitely going to be able to catch up to them. As long as they keep on doing that, they're going to have to slow down more and more, and now we'll be catching up to them over time. As Mr. Hako over here, he ends up going wide, and we almost end up colliding, goes just barely in time. And honestly, it scared the heck out of me, and my heart almost just dropped down to the floor. Would have been just as bad as hitting the chicane of death over at Seaside, although this would have not been any of our faults. But anyways, We are hanging out a little bit behind Mr. Spec Miata over here, and we're running out of time. We have to catch up to this guy over here at the very least. Judica, I mean, he's a different story. If we can catch up to him, then I will tell you the story. But for now, we have Spec Miata just ahead of us, and I don't know if you saw in that last turn, it looks like he went a little wide. It looks like his tires might be a little worn out. So now, because I have an idea that this could be what's making him a little bit slower or just struggle a little bit, just like in this turn right here, I can definitely go for an attack. And we have about a lap and a half to go. He's going to have to defend the heck for that position if it's true that his tires are worn out, because my tires, they're doing great. As someone, I mean, there's a yellow flag somewhere, but I don't know what happened. But anyways, this is it. We are about to enter the final lap. I am right behind him, right behind Mr. Spec Miata. He has to defend for his life, and as I end up trying to go on the inside, he ends up blocking it just in time, so we end up exchanging just a tiny little bump. He's already defending on the inside. He does not want to give up ninth position without a fight, and I am up for this fight. As I try to go on the inside, he ends up going on the inside, so I'm going to go on the outside and try to overtake on the outside, which is something that is very unusual for me to do, very unusual to do overall, and I end up getting the pass as he ends up losing it because we're just trying to give each other space, but he ends up giving just a little bit too much space. We end up getting ninth place. All we have to do is just survive these last few turns right here, just try not to bottle it, and there we go. We're finally finishing this last turn on this final lap. What a race. This race was definitely something else, starting from 16th place and climbing our way into 9th. I mean, I would have loved to take 8th place, but freaking Judica is too darn fast in that Viper. But either way, this was some awesome racing, probably some of the best racing I've had in this year of 2019. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this race. Finishing with a strong 9th place, starting from the bottom. I mean, I felt really proud of my result in this race. Like, I honestly didn't think that I would be able to kind of just like pull this off, but I was able to. So, and to me, that is a win in my books. But anyways, that is all for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. This is Mr. MCA, the world's most okay player, and I'll see you in the next video.